Friday the 13th of June today. I'm just at home in my woodland garden. I have been all around the place this morning trying to find somewhere where I could film this video where I wasn't getting the sun in my eyes or I wasn't being bleached out because it was so bright. So hopefully this is a good spot. Yesterday I managed to get to the allotment and harvest all of my garlic. The garlic that I grew this year was 4 varieties, and I planted these on the 24th of September last year. I had planned that I was going to be harvesting this maybe a couple of weeks ago or a week ago now, but I've not managed to have any spare time to kind of dedicate to lifting them, and I wanted to film it for you too. So I did that last night, but it'd been okay weather all day, and as soon as I got down the allotment, set my camera up, started to pull the first bulb out, it started raining. So by the time I had got all of them harvested, I was absolutely drenched through, but luckily my camera didn't break or anything, so that's okay. But it did mean that I had to leave all of the garlic that I'd harvested in this box overnight. So I need to go through it today and prepare them ready for drying, and I thought we could do that together and I could talk to you about the varieties that I'd grown. So last year was my second ever year of growing garlic. The first year I grew 3 types of garlic. One was a supermarket variety called Morado that didn't do very well at all. But I also grew a Germador and a Casablanca, one of which is soft neck, one of which is a hard neck, and they did pretty well. I was very impressed with how they grew, and when I harvested them I kept some back, so I was then able to plant some more in September last year. But I also couldn't resist picking up another couple of varieties. I picked up some Marco and I picked up some Dario, both of which were from a different garden centre that I'd ever used before, and I was pretty impressed with the size of the bulbs and the cloves when I planted them last year. And this year it's been quite interesting because one thing I wanted to show you and have a look at really was how my harvest would compare with new bought in cloves and saved cloves from the year before. So we can have a look now. What I'm going to do first though is just get these bulbs cleaned up a bit so they can dry really nicely. At the moment they're pretty muddy and dirty. If you leave them like this, it's absolutely fine. They're dry really nicely, but it just means when you store them or bring them into the kitchen, you know, it makes a little bit of a mess when you are chopping them. And I find if it's covered in mud, you end up with loads of mud on the chopping board, which, you know, is a little bit annoying. So all I'm going to do with these now is just peel the top couple of layers off them. So they're not all muddy here. Now when I did this last year on a video, quite a few people said you shouldn't do this because this is a protective layer of the bulb, but actually I did it on all of them, and then the layer underneath, which is this lovely white layer, cured really nicely. So what we do now is we will get all of these cleaned up, spread them out, and then we're going to have a look and see which ones did best. All of the garlic's been peeled now, the sun's come out, and I'm just going to sort this area out, tidy it up and put all of the garlic out, and we can have a look. my 2020 garlic harvest. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be. The two at the back are the ones that I bought from the garden centre last autumn. So these are Dario, and this is the Marco ones. Now some of these Marco are actually really quite big, so what I'm going to be doing is just saving up all of the really big ones to plant next year. Definitely think they have grown really well and really big. And then down at the front I've got my Germador garlic. This is the saved garlic from Wilko's that I had from the year before last, and actually these are quite big, some of them. So what I'm going to be doing, because these are the hard neck, these store much better than the soft neck ones. So what I will be doing with these are drying all of these ones out and then keeping those in the kitchen and using them as and when that I want to throughout kind of the year. Some of these are quite big, so they will be saved, but also some are quite small. So I think this one here is the smallest one. And yeah, when they're small, they're just quite fiddly to peel, and then I'm not really so bothered. So possibly I'll get that one used up quite quickly. And then we have the Casablancas down at the front. These are also saved from the Wilko ones from the year before last. These are a soft neck, and some of these are quite big as well. So I think with all of the soft necks, once I've chosen the biggest and best out of them, I'm going to just peel all of them later today and get them put in the blender. I was thinking of doing this in the past, and I just thought peeling them is going to be such a nightmare, but actually because they're still wet and they haven't cured yet, all of the kind of the papery bit that you usually get around each clove hasn't actually formed yet. So if you see on this one here, it's actually still really wet. So all I need to do today is just get them like this, pull them apart, and then I think they're going to go really well in the blender. So what I'm going to do now is just select the ones that I want to grow this September, and then I'm going to keep those drying along with the Germadors, and all of the other ones will be prepared, blended and put in the freezer by the end of the day. All of the garlic that I'm saving for the kitchen, or I'm saving to replant in September, is now in the greenhouse. I've just made sure that it's all separated and nothing is touching each other, so the air can circulate around it really nicely. So all of that garlic is going to stay in there for the next couple of weeks until it's dried out enough for me to take it inside and continue drying it. When I chose some of those to be saved as seed, I did notice that one of them that I'd saved had been forked. So it's really important that you just make sure everything that you're saving for growing next year is complete. There's no nicks or there's no signs of any disease on there, because they won't store properly. And then you run the risk of having diseases in your soil next year and having a really poor harvest. This is all of the soft neck garlic that I have decided I'm going to not even dry this year. I'm going to peel it all, blend it and freeze it into ice cubes. There was also a really tiny Germador there that fell through the gap, so I thought there's no point saving that. So I'm going to go into the kitchen now and get this all sorted. Thank you very much for watching my video today. If you are new here, I really hope you've enjoyed, and please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified of all of my latest videos. YouTube have put some videos up on the screen there that they think you might like, so please go ahead and watch those. I'll also put a link in the description below of my garlic harvest last year and some of my other garlic related videos. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.